Oh my God, that's such a good question. I mean, I have to confess, I approach it with a little frustration. But you know, at some point you have to just adapt. You can't, because I think if you allow yourself to think about it too much, you just get so angry. You know, because I think musicians are being exploited a little, you know. And I'm okay, like I feel like, you know, we had such a good career. It doesn't affect me quite as much, although, you know, I still don't particularly appreciate people taking music for granted and not wanting to pay for it. But I see so many of my young friends who are incredible musicians who are unable to make a living like me because people don't pay for their music and never will. And so I see these phenomenal talents just have to give up music and go and get a job, and it makes me really upset sometimes, you know. I don't think too much about how to get into young people. You know, I feel like I get it. I remember when I was young, I don't want to hear from someone like me. And so I've just accepted all I can do is write what I believe is the truth about my life and how I've always felt or feel. You know, I just need to tell the truth. And every now and again, if you're lucky, which we were with Empty, we hit a nerve. And young people, a lot of young people have really connected with that song. You know, and again, I just think it's because I told the truth. And it's difficult to tell the truth, you know, because we're human beings and we've learned the skills of hiding and presenting masks and trying to be something that we think other people want, and we get into these habits of not telling the truth about ourselves. And I just got to the point where we came into making this record, I was like, I want to tell the truth. I just want to not have to worry about getting on the radio. I don't care if we don't get told, you know, played on TV. I don't care if young people connect with it. I'm just going to tell the truth about how I see the world, because that's the only thing I've got that nobody else has. You know, how do you make yourself be of value to culture? Is by being your own messy, messed up self.
Sometimes I'd rather take a beating. Sometimes I'd rather take a punch.
Well, you're right. Not Your Kind of People was born of us just getting back together again, and there was incredible excitement for all of us in doing that. Coming into this record, I think we were all a lot more focused and we had a lot more confidence. You know, when you take a 5-year hiatus, that knocks your confidence for 6. You're like, can we do this anymore? Does anybody care? Will anyone come to the shows, you know? And so when we went out to tour Not Your Kind of People, we were like, whoa, there's people coming to the shows. This is incredible, you know? And so going into making Strange Little Birds, we had a real sort of confidence. We had a wind at our back, so to speak. And we knew, worst case scenario, there'd be somebody that'd be willing to listen to it, you know? And like I said, I had a very clear intent of the kind of record I wanted to make, and I was very lucky in that the rest of the band, without really discussing it, was on the same page. You know, the music they were coming up with was much more cinematic and less rock orientated, and it just fit in perfectly with where I was at mentally, and so I think we've made a really beautiful record. Interesting. I mean, we definitely want to make a different kind of record next time around. We've talked a lot about making a very quiet record, which to me would be a real challenge, because I think to make a quiet record takes a lot of skill and, you know, a lot of restraint. And I would like to think that we can meet that challenge, you know. Yeah. But, you know, we'll see. I'm in a band with 3 other people and I have to make sure that everyone's on the same page, you know. But if I had my druthers, I want to make a really quiet record.
It's a nice challenge, because Garbage is kind of
like
this explosion.
We're an explosion. Yeah. And so now I just want to
you think that something more acoustic or more like Nine Inch Nails, the last records, it's more kind of, or more acoustic?
I don't know, we'd have to explore and see, but I want to, suck it into a fist and see how quiet it is. Are you kidding? I will love Susie the Banshees till I die. I hope they play them at my funeral.
Which song? Spellbound.
Well, Spellbound would be a good choice, but probably Happy House, which was the first Susie and the Banshees song I ever heard, and I was like, who's that?
Yeah, it's your first touch with that band, with Blondie?
With Blondie, I came to Blondie much later on in my life. I was an adult by the time I heard Blondie, but Susie was my spiritual leader. She led me through my teens, and she saved me from all sorts of pains, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's complicated, you know. I always feel like a band's a band and it needs all 4 members to be complete. But the world is complicated, and I don't want to stop doing what I love because someone falls at the post. And that sounds brutal, but it's true. I'm like, you know, I've only got one life, and I'm only getting to do this once in my life. And if you can't keep up, then if you're cool with it, we'd like to continue, and Butch is cool with us continuing. We've got an incredible drummer called Eric Gardner, whose talent is off the charts. Makes us look like a bunch of amateurs, truth be told. And so musically it doesn't suffer, but spiritually I think it does a little. But you know, like I said, I'd rather be doing it than sitting at home twiddling my thumbs waiting on him feeling better. You know, it's not life-threatening, he's not got anything serious, so we press on. Because we all make the music, all of us. It belongs to all of us, not just one person. You know, that's how I feel. Of course I do. I mean, there's always music coming up that I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like there's a band we're actually going to take out on our North American tour called Cigarettes After Sex.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Oh my god, and I heard them and I felt so relieved. It was like, oh, these boys sound as sad as I do sometimes, you know? And I fell madly in love with them. And God, there was another band I was going to mention there that Some Lux I really love. Also kind of they sound like their hearts are breaking when they sing. I love Savages. I find them really potent and exciting.
Kind of like Joy Division.
Yeah. But with incredible hot girls, like being powerful and crazy, political and exciting, you know, I love them. And there's little punk bands that I love, like I love the Screaming Females. There's a band called Skating Polly out of LA that I really love, that are a noisy mess, but you know that they're going to do something phenomenal. I love Deep Valley, who are about to bring out a great record. And there's always bands that I'm intrigued by. You know, there's so much talent out there, but it's difficult for them to maintain a following, I think.
Yeah. You know? And keep following all the...
Because there's always a brand new act, you know, and for a decade everyone's like in the know, like this is a brand new band to listen to, and it's like nowadays it's like it's not like every day there's a new cool band to listen to, it's like every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a deluge of ideas.
Yeah, so a friend told me about the Cigarettes After Sex, and it blows me.
Oh my god.
That's great, like the voice.
Nothing's gonna hurt you, baby.
Yeah.
When he sings that, I'm like, oh my god, you see them in my soul.
It's great to see that the new bands impact you in all levels.
Yeah, I never want to be, you know, I had the privilege of working with Elton John.
Yeah.
A long time ago now, but I remember being struck by how much he knew about contemporary music, and I always thought, I want to be like you when I grow up, because I don't want to be one of these people who get old and go, music isn't as good as it used to be, because I think that's bullshit. You know, there's always new ideas. Society and culture is always evolving, always. And I think there's many artists now who are way better, way more talented, way more good at what they do than we ever were.
Yeah.
You know, and so I never want to get to that point where I feel I've seen everything, know everything. I want to be a student in my life. I want to always be learning, and I want young people, as much as I expect them to also listen to me, I also want to listen to them, because I think it's an interesting dialogue. You know, those who have experience and wisdom, and those who are fresh and haven't been hurt yet.
Yeah.
And those are powerful ideas that must be exchanged between young and old people.
Yeah. It's a communication.
Yeah. It's good for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you
it's
very
like
much.
a dream come true now.
Oh, thank you so much.